we were not allowed to have internet. It was really expensive. There's not such a thing as real estate in Cuba where you can like have money and go buy, and no one is selling houses or land or anything. All of that is controlled by the government. The school system is funded by the government, and that was my start as an immigrant. I literally went to the bridge where everyone crosses daily, and I literally crossed the line. I'm like, all right, I'm safe.
Hello and welcome back to the Alex Witherow Show. Today I have a really interesting guest. She is a Cuban-born professional dancer and choreographer, Evelyn Robaina. Great to have you here.
Thank you.
So, you have a really interesting story because we've spoken some about your history, and you were born and raised in Cuba, right?
Yes.
Okay. So in a communist country, when you are an artist, this kind of shakes out a little differently than it would in the United States. So you grew up dancing there, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I went to school for dancing.
Okay, so you became a dancer in Cuba. Like when you go to school for dancing, and obviously you show aptitude, did you kind of get, I guess, funneled into a school or into a profession right off the bat just because they were like, oh, she's a good dancer, that's what she's going to do?
Well, this was a long time ago. Back in the day, I went to school for classical ballet. Okay. And back then, I'm from Havana. Mm-hmm. So there was only one ballet school that you could go to in Havana. So it was very selective to get there. So you had to go through a very hard audition, because the school is free. It's a free education, right?
So does the government conduct the audition?
Not the government, the school.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's, of course, the school system is
government controlled.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Pretty much everything.
Yeah.
But yes, the school system is nationalized. So yes, the school system is funded by the government. So it was only one school. It was very selective. The audition process was really hard, and I was 9 years old. Okay. And I remember there were only 15 spots available left for this new group that they were casting from the entire Havana city. So it was really hard to get in. Yeah. I almost didn't make it, but I did.
And I would imagine at that age, it's kind of like no one's had a lot of, training really at that age. So you kind of either got it or you don't.
Well, let me tell you, I started dancing when I was 5.
Okay, so you were already like...
Yes.
Yeah, so that probably helped a lot.
Yes, because when I was in kindergarten, this is a story, obviously, I know because my mom told me, because I don't remember everything. But I was in kindergarten, and then apparently the teacher in school, they wanted to prepare a little dance for the end of the school program or whatever. And they, choreographed a little dance, and they saw some sort of like attitude on the kid, and they called my mom and they told her, oh, you should put her in dance classes because we think she'll be good at it. And they recommended these private dance lessons. There was this retired ballet teacher. Mm-hmm. She used to be a professional ballet dancer in the best dance company in Havana, in Cuba, actually, the Cuban National Ballet. And she had a small school, private school in her house, actually. Yeah. And it was around my neighborhood. So she enrolled me on those classes. And that's how I started dancing at the age of 5, 6 years old. So the actual school, you can only get in when you're 10 years old. That's the age, the requirement. So when I was getting about...
So this is the kind of thing where if you make it into this school, like this is what you're doing for life.
For sure, yeah. This school prepares you to be a professional dancer on the Cuban National Ballet. So it's a school that prepares children and professional dancers for the company.
So when you got into this school, you were expecting to be a Cuban ballet dancer.
That's what I wanted to be
for your whole life.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to be, a classical dancer.
Yeah,
that's what I wanted.
As long as you could. Yeah.
No, yeah, that's my dream. Like that's all I wanted to be. I went to a ballet theater. I saw the whole thing. I was like, I want to be a dancer. Yeah. And taking all these classes, she prepared me. She encouraged me. That's all I wanted to be.
So you get into this school, and you said this school in Havana is a little different than like what you would see in America. Is that correct?
Well, I think we can compare this school to what you got, like Juilliard or like a big school. It's like an art school where kids there. We have an amazing training. Like you get training music and dance, all kinds of styles, ballet, contemporary, and choreography. I was taught French because the ballet school, the ballet steps are in French language. So the education is like top notch.
Yeah.
To become a professional dancer, you are given classes on like preparation, physics, like, like you have a whole system around becoming a professional dancer for sure.
Yeah.
And then, you have to, there is 2 stages of this school. It's like 5 years, it's called the elementary. And then 3 more years where you're preparing to actually audition for the ballet company.
Okay.
So it's like 8 years of a school.
So
you have to decide at 10 years old that's the career you want to take.
Right.
Usually people decide what they want to do when they're 18.
Maybe.
Usually
it's till around 35, but yeah.
Exactly. Or maybe never. They switch it around.
If you're doing well if it hits by 35.
Yeah, but when you finish high school in America, you finish college, whatever, and then what do you want to do? And then you go to college for something.
Or, or you just change your mind a few times too.
Exactly. But if you want to be a professional dancer, or if you want to be a pianist too, if you want to be a musician, you got to decide early. Those are careers that you have to decide.
Yeah, I would say dancing. I mean, I would, as someone who comes from an acting background, I would say the sooner you can decide to become an actor, the better. Most art forms, in my opinion, whether it be dancing, singing, acting, piano, instrument, it takes a long time to master the art form. Most people don't realize that. I mean, everyone knows that, like, if you're going to be a concert pianist, you have to practice a lot. Same with like ballet, right? Like everyone knows that. Most people don't realize that about it. It's kind of the same thing with acting too. But I think there's a misconception about acting where they think that you just roll up to set and stand on the line and deliver, It
takes a lot of practice.
There actually is a lot to learn in that world too.
And what you're taught in the school is nothing compared to later on the experience.
Yeah.
You have to gain experience on stage.
Totally.
And this school gave me opportunities. Like every end of the year, you will have a performance. You'll experience a little bit of the stage, but it's not until you graduate and you go work as a professional dancer that you're actually getting the experience of like, everything that comes with like the performance,
right.
The business and the life as a dancer.
So you went through 5 years of this school.
8.
But you said the first 5 is like the kind of the core education.
Yes. And then later you do 3 more and then you graduate and then you go work for a company.
And then, so did you go work for the Cuban National Ballet?
No, really, no.
Okay.
I didn't get accepted.
Okay.
So this is interesting because those last 3 years, so back to the story, there is this one school that was the biggest and the best school that was recognized by the Cuban government, and the company, the Cuban ballet company, was run by Alicia Alonso. She's passed away. She was the head of the Cuban ballet, and then her daughter, who I believe was born in the United States, went and formed a new company, a new school on her own, kind of like the one private school in Havana at the time, and she was not given the same help from the government that the other school was given and the other company was given, but she was doing it with sponsorships and parents paying for the school and doing it like
the old-fashioned way.
The American way.
The American
way, right? But that, because I did not get again, it was only like 15 spots, 20 spots. Right. In those last 3 years, you would finish them in a different building, and that was, you had to audition again, and then they will cast dancers from the whole country, not just Havana. So it will be even harder to get there.
So let me ask you, so the school that is sanctioned by the government, do those students get first shot at the Cuban National Ballet Company?
The one that like her daughter.
So the main school that is blessed by the government, do the graduates of that school get the first access to the auditions?
They're the only ones who get the access.
Okay, they're the only access. So
back in the day, especially, I don't know how it is now. I left Cuba many years ago.
Right. So any other school, like you mentioned, they cannot audition. Their students cannot audition for the national.
No, it was really, really hard.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was kind of like they were only seeing the students coming from here.
Yeah. That's communism.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So anyone else that went to a different school or wanted to audition, whatever, it was really hard to get. You had to be accepted into this audition,
right?
So I did not get accepted into this list these last 3 years on this same school. Mm-hmm. So I went to finish the career with Laura Alonso's school, which is Alicia Alonso's daughter, and that allowed me to finish my career, graduate. And went to dance for her company, which is Laura Alonso's ballet.
So this is another company in Cuba.
Yes, in Havana. And they were kind of like competing, right? Competing. It was.
That's interesting. So
back in the day, it was only like three ballet companies. It was the National Ballet, which is the biggest one.
Right.
Then another company in another city far away from Havana, which is Camagüey, and that was Ballet de Camagüey, and that was the other company that was kind of known. And then Ballet Laura Alonso, which is this private company run by Alicia Alonso's daughter.
Yeah. But it was in Havana.
It was in Havana.
So I would assume there's more credibility with the company given that it was in Havana.
It didn't matter where it was. It was just like that company didn't have the same opportunities to perform as the National Ballet. I remember like there were certain pieces, ballets that we were not allowed to do because it was only allowed by the National Ballet.
Interesting.
Getting theaters to let her put up pieces there, getting funds to,
right. There was a lot of.
Remember, this is a poor country.
Right.
So
and there's a lot of roadblocks.
A lot.
Yeah.
But that's what I think she did an incredible job because that school, that company still exists. She's still there.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's amazing. She has given
so the government's never really tried to shut her down at all.
I can't say because I don't know.
You don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
I don't really know. Yeah. But no, she stayed there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. And when you were performing with the company, I mean, do you feel like the caliber of performance equaled or rivaled the National Ballet Company?
In the beginning, as a young dancer, when I graduated, they had incredible dancers that were part of the company.
Yeah.
Amazing dancers, same caliber. But again, the conditions to practice, the conditions of the studios where they had to practice, the living conditions in general in Cuba, were hard.
Yeah.
The Cuban National Ballet had a great salary funded by the government. They had opportunities to travel and tour the world and be seen. And and as a dancer, you need that. You need, the experience.
So if I understand this correctly, the National Ballet Company has like nice accommodations, beautiful studios, great teachers. Everything's very well funded. And then if you're outside,
it's harder.
Of that, it's just rough.
Yeah. So same caliber. it was really hard to match.
Yeah.
Because of that,
Yeah.
I feel like. But we had great dancers
But you
and
felt
passionate dancers that wanted to make it.
Sounds like the talent was probably the same. Just tougher conditions.
Tougher conditions. Yeah. Tougher conditions to make
perform.
it. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. And then how many years did you work with them?
I think I was there in the company for probably 5 years.
Okay.
If I remember correctly.
And that was your full-time job. You're living. Yeah.
Full-time job, ballet dancer in the Laura Alonso's ballet company, performing with them, rehearsing with them, learning a lot. The good thing about that company, one of the good things about the company is that because they didn't want to compete with what the National Ballet was doing. So they had choreographers that were a little bit more like outside of the box, mixing classical ballet with neoclassical ballet. With
avant-garde,
creating choreography that was like outside of the box, that the National Ballet was very conservative.
Right.
Doing the conservative.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So that was great for me.
So you guys got to do just a lot more creative stuff.
More creative styles.
Yeah.
Like we would do performances with music that was like Afro-Cuban music.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like the difference between like, some old, traditional Broadway show versus like off-Broadway where it's like very experimental.
Nice.
And then there's off Broadway that's just freaking weird. And that's what I did.
I wonder why. We did. Yeah, it's exactly like that. It was very experimental, and I loved it. That got me out of my mentality of like, classical ballet is this, and then I got to see, because remember, no internet back then at all. Now Cuba has internet.
What year was this?
I graduated in 2001.
Okay, so the internet was here at that time.
But not there.
Yeah, but not there.
We were not allowed to have internet. It was really expensive. No one had internet in cell phones or at home or anything.
As far as I can remember, the internet turned on in America around 1994.
Okay.
So by 2001, we had kind of moved past the that phase was over. But so the internet, the Wi-Fi was moving a little better at that point. I mean, in the old days, like, you turn on AOL and you might as well just go pick up a cheeseburger and come back because it took forever to load,
Yeah, well, that's how it felt in Cuba for a very long time. I feel like it's still the same.
I remember it well.
It's very slow.
Very slow, yeah.
No, but then back then, I was not exposed to what other companies in the world were doing or what was the trending out there.
So the internet didn't really come to you guys it was probably at least a 10-year lag. Yeah.
Yeah, Cubans were not allowed to have internet.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It was a way to keep everyone.
So this is kind of, Havana's notorious for having old classic cars there because none of the more modern cars have been allowed in.
Well, they are now.
They are now? Okay.
They are now.
Part of my ignorance on Cuba. I don't really know much about it.
Education.
It's helpful for me. I can tell you all about England.
I love England. So this company gave me that opportunity because also Laura Alonso traveled a lot. She went to do teaching in Brazil, teaching in the US. Like, we were supposed to, there were like this course, summer course where she will invite dancers from other countries and they will come in and take classes in the same studios as we did, and we will exchange with Canadian dancers, English dancers. Like, it was interesting. Yeah. So
interesting. So it sounds like you guys were doing a lot more avant-garde work, a lot more just creative type things.
We created a ballet called Dracula.
Nice.
About the whole thing, it was like amazing.
Yeah. No, that's super cool.
And the choreographer was from Puerto Rico, so it's like
that's where Dracula's from.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
Just kidding. No, he's not from there.
That's hilarious. Latin Dracula.
Latin Dracula. Él quiere comer el sangre.
No, in Indonesia, reggaeton hit.
Yeah. Okay, so you were in this company for a while, and then what happened? You left Cuba at one point.
Not yet. What happened was to be honest, I wasn't making any money. We were not,
right.
As a dancer, I felt a little stuck. It was really, like I said, it was really hard for this company to make it, to have many shows, to travel, to anything. I wanted to do more. I wanted to make money. I wanted to, do more in my career.
Yeah.
And then a lot of my friends were leaving the company and dancing for the Cuban Television Ballet, which is a company, like the name, dances for television in Cuba. And a lot of my friends were doing that move, and they were like, you have to come with us. This is an incredible company. They do everything. They do all the styles. And I was like, okay.
Was the company you were previously with, Laura Alonso's company, was the morale kind of tough? Was there just a lack of excitement about it just because she didn't quite have the funding? Was that the issue?
Yeah, I feel so. Yeah, I feel like,
yeah.
That was happening, It was really hard.
So it's just
it was
really
a tough time.
Yeah.
I had to go to work with, hitchhiking together. The conditions in Cuba were really tough, and not making any money, and the situation was not
nobody
the best.
had new shoes or anything like that.
It was really hard, to get new point shoes or.
Right. Interesting.
I wanted differently, and I saw my friends doing this move, and I was already looking for options.
Yeah.
The options were living in the classical ballet world, and I was like depressed. I have to say, I was like, this is the only thing I love doing. What else?
Yeah.
And everything else was, going to a cabaret in a hotel or something like that, and I was not a fan of that. And then when I discovered the television ballet, I was like, oh, wow, nice. Because I saw a performance, I remember. They not only did television, they would do live shows in theater. And I saw the dancers dancing salsa, but they were like technical dancers dancing salsa.
Right.
Like doing beautiful things and dancing really gracious. And I was like, oh, I love that. So I auditioned and I got accepted. And that's when I learned all the salsa and all the Latin styles, and I was supposed to Cuban folklore.
So you learned salsa.
Well, I actually learned salsa
in your 20s
in the streets when I was a teenager.
I was gonna say, I thought
but I'm talking about professionally.
I was gonna say, I thought you come out of the womb doing salsa.
Well, yeah.
Everyone I know in Colombia comes out of the womb doing salsa.
Well, it was surprising. Cuba, my parents, they're not the best doing salsa.
Okay.
But yes, I learned on the streets.
Yeah,
I learned
I've been on
parties.
Calle Ocho. I've been on Calle Ocho. I've been to Ball and Chain.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I've seen.
I love that place.
I've seen the scene.
I live in Little Havana, by the way.
Yeah, it's great. It's so much fun.
No, I learned salsa in the streets and parties when I was a teenager, when I was a ballet dancer. Actually.
I feel like this would just kind of naturally. It's like when you're a tall gringo, you just learn how to play baseball and golf, right? It just comes.
Really?
No, I didn't learn golf. I learned tennis. My mom told me at age 10. She said you either got to learn golf or tennis. You got to pick one.
I feel like Americans love golf.
You got to pick one white guy sport, and I said I'll do tennis. So I became good at tennis, but I didn't do golf. But yes, I get it. It's you're just kind of preloaded.
Yeah, you're surrounded in Cuba.
Factory default settings. You can play tennis, right?
No, in Cuba you're surrounded by music and dance everywhere.
Yeah.
It's part of the culture.
Yeah.
But I
was surrounded with Metallica.
Well, we listen to Metallica in Cuba too, eh? I love rock.
Yeah, it's a little different,
Yeah. No, but I never thought I was going to dance salsa for a performance, you know? And I discovered the whole thing when I started dancing for the ballet, the Cuban ballet television, the television ballet. It's like the Cuban culture on a performance.
Yeah.
On television, on a show, on a stage.
So I'm just curious, were any of these different offshots of anything that was outside the government-sponsored programs of dance, were any of these different endeavors or companies starting to make headway, starting to do interesting things that became popular in Cuba?
Not when I was there.
Okay, so is it now? Is it changing now?
Maybe, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I don't think the arts is allowed to be so independent.
Right, they keep pretty strong control.
When it comes to arts, I don't think it's allowed to be a private business.
Right. So it's amazing that Laura Alonso did as much as she did.
Well, her
given the
parents were head of the Cuban National Ballet, and they were like tied with the government. So that's
So they allowed her because of the connection.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's so
it's
fascinating.
The only way you are allowed.
I was gonna say that's so fascinating.
The only way you're allowed to,
even do anything,
do good and not be bothered is if you have that connection.
That connection, yeah.
It's the only way. I believe it.
That's so fascinating.
Other than that, you had to be part of an institution.
Yeah.
To do dancing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it seems that like that was just kind of like interesting and bizarre that was allowed to happen. But now that you said that, it makes sense that she had that connection to the government. Yeah,
no, she was doing good, but I'm sure it's because of family ties.
Yeah. Interesting, very interesting.
But she was doing a good job, and especially with the school.
Yeah,
especially with the school.
So they allowed it.
Yeah. But the Cuban television ballet was an institution of the television, and the television is controlled by the government.
And you got to be a part of that.
Yeah.
What was it like being a part of a government-controlled, sponsored institution as a dancer compared to, Laura's company? I
mean, when I was in the ballet company, there was not a lot. I mean, nothing differently. The difference, there's two different companies, right?
Yeah.
So
was the process different? Did you? I assume they had nice rehearsal studios.
The thing is, in Cuba, everything is controlled by the government.
Yeah.
I didn't know what being with something that's not I didn't assume this is not controlled by the government, even though it's private.
Right.
But everything. Yeah. And anything.
So there's really there's no concept of like private versus public.
Not when I was there.
Yeah.
Maybe now they have allowed private business to happen, but everything in that island is controlled.
Yeah.
So I don't think there is a sense of like, oh, I'm here and this is private. Not really.
Yeah.
Not really.
That's so fascinating.
The only thing different is like when I was in the school with Laura, we had to pay for it.
Right.
But nothing else. Like to perform, you had to go perform in a theater that's controlled by the government. So everything is, especially related to the arts, and is controlled. So there's no difference.
Yeah.
There was no difference at all in any process or anything.
It's interesting that you wouldn't even have the thought of whether something's private or public.
No, I didn't know what that meant until I left.
Yeah.
I didn't know what freedom was until I left.
Yeah.
Because you don't really realize you're being controlled.
Right.
Like I was born already in that system.
You were born into it.
I didn't know anything before that. So it's not until I left Cuba, and especially when I moved here, that I saw what you can do as a dancer on your own.
Right.
I had no training on that, I graduated, I was given this choice, only one, and then you want to change, then it's only 2-3 choices, not many more choices.
Yeah. So you left the Cuban TV company.
I spent a few years there, maybe, 3 years dancing there. I had an amazing journey with them. I learned a lot. I grew a lot as a dancer. I was given great opportunities.
Right.
I actually traveled the world with them.
Okay.
Yeah, I went on like 3 different trips. I went to China for the first time.
They're good pals.
I know. I know. It's very interesting.
Cuba and China, they're like best buddies.
But I went on different shows. I went to Mexico. I did shows with a live band over there. It was really nice. And then I went to the Cayman Islands for a year contract with a show with the TV company.
Okay.
And then after that, I decided I want to stay. I don't want to go back to Cuba. I want to stay. I want to make more money. I want to be free. I already know I had friends there.
Yeah.
I knew the island's beautiful.
So you went to the Caymans, and what kind of professional opportunities were there?
Well, in the first year, I was in a show.
Okay.
I was in a cabaret show. It's a dinner theater show, right?
But this is like tourists, people coming through.
Well, locals mostly.
Okay,
locals and tourists,
okay.
yeah. But in this first year, I was part of the television ballet company that was hired by this producer per se. That he went to Cuba. He had this idea. I had this theater and this place. I want to have a dinner show and I want a Cuban show. We were a big group, dancers, specialty acts, musicians, and the whole thing was choreographed in Cuba.
Yeah.
And we traveled there and we stayed there for a whole year performing on this beautiful place. Then after that, I decided I want to be on my own. So I had to find another job.
Okay.
And not dancing.
Right.
So I could, stay there in the island legally and have a job. After a year, they decided to hire a different dance company, a different show. And the cabaret kept running with a different Cuban company. But it's interesting. I managed to stay in the island and find a job as a server and make my way.
It's a rite of passage.
Yeah, and then the owners of
you can't be in this industry without being a server.
I know, and it teaches you a lot, right?
It does.
And I went from being like the head of a dance company, like one of the principal dancers, and the next day being a server. And that was a shock for me, but I was happy to do it because I just wanted.
It's like you're in New York.
I wanted to leave. I wanted to leave Cuba, and I was like, I just want to leave Cuba. I want to travel the world. I want to make money. I want to be free.
Yeah.
But the owners of that dinner place, that cabaret, they knew me, and they saw me again in the island, doing my own thing, and they were like, "Oh my God, come see the new show!" And now I'm independent. I'm on my own, and they're like, "Do you want to be part of the new show now?" So I say yes, but this is the first time in my life I negotiated my own pay rate, not an institution doing it for me.
Right.
An institution that was actually taking a lot of money from the Cuban dancers.
Of course.
Yeah.
Anytime there's a middleman,
But this is the Cuban government taking a big chunk.
That's a big middleman.
A big one. But no, this time, they gave me an opportunity if I wanted to dance in the show. And I was in the island having my job as a server and my job as a dancer. And that was my start as an immigrant.
Okay. And then
in the Cayman Islands.
And how was that time over there? Did you enjoy it?
It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
I've been to the Cayman Islands once.
That island is beautiful. I call it paradise.
Yeah.
Because it's very quiet.
It looks similar to Miami, but not as built up.
I don't know if it's similar to Miami at all.
Not super similar to Miami.
No, there are not tall buildings at all.
No tall buildings.
And the
just nice beaches.
And the beach is it's the Caribbean waters. It's not like Miami Beach. I don't like Miami Beach compared to the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Like Cuba has beautiful beaches and also the Cayman Islands.
Right.
Beautiful. And the people are nice and money was good.
Yeah.
I was doing what I loved. And at the same time, I met so many people. I have so many friends that live there that I can call tomorrow and be like, hey, and they'd be like, stay in my house.
Yeah. Nice.
Great relationships. Yeah. You actually meet people and become friends when you live in a very small place.
Yeah.
Like you will run into the same people twice in the day in the supermarket and then again later somewhere else. It's a very small island.
Totally.
So I loved it. And
so how did you make your way to America and where did you arrive initially?
Well, the Cayman Islands at the time had a law that after 5 years, you had to do something called the rollover, which means you had to leave the island and do the whole work permit process again to come back. And you have to leave for 1 year.
Okay.
And, my only passport was the Cuban passport. So back in the day, I had to renew my work permit every 2 years and also renew something that was called an exit permit from Cuba. Mm-hmm. Doesn't exist anymore, but back then,
an exit permit.
Back then you had to pay the government $150 to
leave,
to be allowed to live on a contract to work somewhere else.
Oh, interesting. I was gonna say they would probably want control over that too.
That doesn't exist anymore. They got rid of that. So it was very hard to keep a job, keep a contract somewhere else, and not have the Cayman wouldn't allow you to have a permanent resident visa because it was really they're very strict with their immigration laws unless you get married or you open a big business or something like that.
Yeah.
So the time to do the rollover was coming. I spent 5 years in the island, and I was like, well, what do? I need to go somewhere where I can actually, get a permanent residency. Mm-hmm. And the U.S. was a no-brainer because the U.S. is, I think, the only country in the world that gives political asylum to the Cubans.
Yeah.
But coming here, I'm in an island. There's no border, so I'm like, okay, I need to come here. A lot of Cubans were denied a straight visa to go to the U.S. because you're a possible immigrant. Mm-hmm. So a lot of Cubans were getting the visa denied, and I was like, well, if I apply for a tourist visa to go to America, it might be denied. Yeah. So what do? I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go to Mexico.
Okay.
And I went to Mexico on a vacation on a tourist visa, and then I crossed the border.
Okay.
With 2 suitcases, because every time people
hear
every time people hear my story and they're like, oh my God, like you were hiding. I'm like, no, I literally went to the bridge where everyone crosses daily.
Yeah.
And because there was the law, dry food, wet food, back in the day before Obama took it off. Sorry. That law said that like once a Cuban citizen step foot on American soil, you're protected by a political asylum.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, that's what it was.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. I went to the border.
Where did you cross?
Laredo.
Laredo, yeah.
Yes, Laredo. Yeah, and I literally...
I'm thinking of the country song about... Whoa, Laredo. Yeah.
Oh, really? I don't know the song. Sorry.
Only Texans know it. Okay. So you came through Laredo. Gotcha.
Yeah, I just literally crossed the bridge with my suitcases and stepped foot on American soil. Ta-da! Yeah, it was exactly like that. There is a line.
You're like, wow, that was easy.
And then one side of the line says Estados Unidos Mexicanos, something like that. And the other side says United States of America. Yeah. And then I literally crossed the line. I'm like, all right, I'm safe.
How interesting.
And then I just walked to the officer. I'm like, I'm here for political asylum. And he's
said,
like,
come on in.
Yeah, it was a room full of Cubans.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I walked in on a Monday. I would never forget.
Yeah.
And it was lots of people there waiting.
And this was like
2000.
What kind of office was this?
I guess an immigration office on the border.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Where they check your passport. Like people just cross by every day, people that come to the US for businesses and they live in Mexico, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's how.
Wow. Interesting.
Then I got my parole and my asylum.
Yeah.
And that's how.
How long did it take to process all that?
It was very fast. They give you a parole and you have to report to a children and families office and start the process of getting your Social Security. And after 3 months, you receive a work permit.
Okay.
And then because of political asylum, after a year, Cubans can apply for permanent residence, for the green card.
Yeah.
And then after a year, I applied for the green card, and 5 years later, I applied for a citizenship.
Okay.
And now I'm a citizen.
Yeah, congrats.
Thank you.
So you come in through Texas, and where did you land? Which city did you land in?
Well, I had friends in Miami.
Yeah,
that they were able, they were willing to help.
Half of Cuba's here.
They were willing to help, and I flew here.
Yeah.
I actually didn't flew straight to Miami. This is a very funny story. I flew to Tampa thinking that Tampa was close to Miami and they could drive and pick us up. And I was like...
That's a big common misconception.
And they're like, no. And I was like, okay.
The size of America is huge. It's funny because like Florida's big, but Texas is really big. Texas is like the size of Europe. It's huge.
Yeah, I've never been to Texas. I have to go.
Yeah, it takes from Houston.
Actually, no, I have. I've been to Houston.
From Houston to El Paso is like a 16-hour drive.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very big.
Yeah. Yeah, I came to Miami because of This is where
Lots
I
of
knew
Cubans.
people.
Right.
Yeah. So flew here.
I feel like Miami is a kind of a no-brainer for anyone from Latin America. It's just very easy to, come here and settle in.
I didn't think of coming here because of that. It was just a place where I had someone willing to help.
Yeah, I'm because it's interesting to me why, like when I was in New York, there's so many Dominicans and Puerto Ricans up there. And I always say to my Dominican friends, I'm like, why is every Dominican going to the Bronx? Like, it's cold up there. Like, you guys hate the cold. Like, why the Bronx? Like, I don't get it. So, and they're like, it's just, all of our friends are there. Our family's there.
Yeah. Yeah. As an immigrant, imagine, like, I remember thinking, how is the U.S.? And the only thing I have in my mind is like the movies, and what you see in the movies is like New York and the buildings and the cars and whatever. And I come from an island, so it's like the idea of United States was like scary to me. I was like, oh my God, this is like a big move. I'm going to like a big place.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen.
Well, what was it? Yeah. Like when you first got to Miami, something I noticed about people who are freshly in Miami, there's a general level of naivety. They just don't understand how things work in America. And like, did you go through that process where you were like just trying to learn how everything works?
Of course, but I think about this all the time because I know a lot of Cubans that came straight from Cuba.
Yeah,
and my process was different because I didn't come straight from Cuba.
Right.
I spent
You were a Texan for 10 minutes.
No, but I was in the Cayman Islands for 5 years.
That too, yeah.
So that helped me, like we say this in Spanish, like erase my hard drive.
Yeah.
From everything I knew about Cuba and then learn a whole new system about capitalism.
Right.
In the Cayman Islands. So I learned what a credit card and a debit card and a bank account and everything and paying rent and all of that.
How do you pay for anything in Havana?
Well, you work.
You work and you get
and
cash.
You make money and then you pay for stuff.
Okay.
But my family owned our apartment and there's not such a thing as real estate in Cuba where you can like have money and go buy, and no one is selling houses or land or anything. All of that is controlled by the government.
Yeah.
So I never had to like find a rent. I know people that did.
Yeah.
In Cuba that they had to like rent out and try to find places to live and rent. I didn't know what that was. I always lived with my family.
Yeah.
And like I told you, like I went to school, graduated, had a job immediately.
Yeah.
I never had to like
you just had to think about
apply
much.
and build the resume and like find jobs and
This is
go through any of that.
Yeah, this is like a whole new world. You're
but
like,
on top of that,
welcome
you
to
have to
freedom.
learn how to be an immigrant. The whole thing of like, I come from a country where like there's a lot of no, and you can't do this and you can't do that, and you're scared and like you don't know, and then you come to America and you think of like, oh my God, I have to like,
the
what's going to happen?
Police don't care about anything.
Exactly, and it's like, well, you realize in Miami,
you're like, could you guys do something, please?
No, and here is the place where you can do.
Yeah,
and
you can literally do anything.
And everyone
here.
is doing whatever they want, especially in Miami.
Yeah, especially in Miami.
Especially here.
Yeah.
But I think that process takes a long time.
Yeah.
That takes a long time, and it's different for everyone. I remember moving here and I didn't have a car, and my family friends will drive me around. I will look at the highway thinking I would never learn how to drive here. This is so big. And now I know everything.
Yeah.
And
well, driving here is crazy too.
It's very crazy.
Yeah. I would say it's I mean, I've lived in 6 US cities. It's up there in terms of craziness.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
for sure.
Jamaica probably is the worst.
Yeah. So let me ask you, like, you got here, you got settled. How did you get back into dancing?
So I came here and then I thought, I don't know if I want to go back to dancing. I don't know, because I spent 5 years kind of like on hold in Cayman Islands, not doing.
But you were dancing some there, right?
I danced there for 3 years in a row. I was in that cabaret, but that cabaret closed after 3 years. And the last 2 years, the Caymans, I was just doing, I don't know, a Latin night here and there, or like a dance festival once a year, like not really dancing much. So I didn't know what to expect. And obviously you move to a big country and you're like, I need to find a job. I need to do stuff. I don't know if I want to get back. I don't know if I could get back to dancing. But then I started reaching out to a few dancers I knew from Cuba that were already here.
Yeah.
And trying to find my way. I remember I went to Miami-Dade College thinking, maybe I should study something else in the arts. Like, I don't know, let me see what's out there. And then I reached out to these dancers and I asked the questions like, can you make a living here as a dancer? And some people say yes.
Sort of. Depends who you talk to.
Some people say yes. And some people said like, it's really hard.
Yeah.
And some people connected me to companies.
It's funny because like, if you're a Rockette in New York, that's the highest paying artistic job in New York City. I mean, they pay fantastically well.
Really? More than Broadway?
Yeah, for sure. Way more than Broadway.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, here, I didn't know what the scene was here.
Yeah.
I didn't know how it worked. I was connected to an audition for a company that does corporate events and private events, they are a dance company. And I auditioned for them, and I was hired immediately.
Right.
So, but it was not enough to make a living. So I still had other jobs, and I was still, serving or whatever.
It's a common path for most artists.
And then I started meeting other dancers and getting connected, and then eventually I met someone who connected me to a choreographer on television here, and I auditioned for a job there and I got hired, and then that's how I started training here, and I found dance studios where I could take classes and get back in shape and start training. And then I realized there's so many other dance styles than what I knew, because what I knew was like classical ballet and Latin dancing, and here was like hip hop and pop and samba and all of these styles and all of these different gigs and different jobs and different ways.
Yeah.
And I started meeting dancers who were also acting and auditioning for TV commercials or doing backup dancing or doing movies or doing all of these things. And I was like, oh, wow, a whole new world in front of me. So, but it was mainly connecting and asking the right questions and meeting people, and always curious of like, how do you get a job? And how do you get a job? And how do you, and where do you go? And where do you train?
Do they have agents here for dancers?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And they have agencies in Miami?
Yes.
Okay, interesting.
Yes.
Because I know they have agencies in New York for dancers.
Yes. There's agencies here for dancing, and I would say talent agencies, some, especially back in the day, they were more
because it seems like
active.
It seems like there's a lot of music videos shot here, and they need dancers.
That has changed now a lot. But back when I moved here, there was a lot going on. TV, music videos, commercials. There was agencies that were just, geared towarers dancers and
that's
getting them jobs.
That's another middleman. But they don't take as much as the Cuban government.
No. They take fair. Actually, I think they take little.
Yeah.
Compared to what they have to do.
Yeah, you were dealing with the Cuban government before.
Yeah, no, I didn't even know what we got paid back then because you never know.
Yeah.
But I didn't even know what an agency was. Like, all I knew were like dancers and companies. And then eventually when I started training and going to dance studios and meeting all of the other dancers, I discovered what the agency is like. Oh, you need representation. This is person. And I knew what a headshot was.
Right.
I remember I only had like selfies on my phone with like costumes. And then I would show friends like my photos, and they were like, no, you need this kind of photos. And that's how I found out. Like, there's not really, you will Google how to get a job as a dancer here, and it's a lot of misinformation.
Yeah.
I don't think there is like a straight path. In Miami, at least, there's no like a blueprint of like what to do. And that's how I found out about agencies. And it was really hard to get an agency. It took me like a few years. Because it's not really like an audition. And
well, it's I dealt with New York agents, and it takes a good 3 or 4 years. I mean, when you get an agent, it feels like something major happened in your life.
I know.
I remember when I first had an agent, I was like, dude, I am the man.
I booked my first TV commercial right after I got an agent.
That's good. That's good. You want to book something quick once you get an agent, because then they think,
they trust you.
I can make money off this person.
That's good. And then the relationship happens, and then you start having a relationship with agencies, and and I think everything in life is the connections you make and the relationships you make.
Well, and in the artistic world, the reason why I think everyone behaves so well is because if you alienate anyone, you'll never work again. It's a small community. It's always been, even in New York, it was a small community. There's just so much. I think the only town where people don't behave well is LA, just because it's huge. LA is enormous, and when you get there, when you get there, I remember when I moved there briefly. I used to have, when I was in New York, I had no problem getting auditions at CBS, NBC, whatever. I get out to LA, and I'm like, holy crap, there's a lot of actors here. I mean, there's more actors there probably by a factor of 10. I mean, it was just like, when you get there, you understand just the legions of people.
Yeah. I've been to LA. I actually worked in LA. Yeah. I was given an opportunity to work on a TV show, in an award show. That was my first job in LA. And then I booked...
Which award show?
Latin American Music Awards.
Okay, cool.
And
the salsa came in handy.
No, it wasn't salsa. No, it was for Farruko, a reggaeton artist. Okay. It was dancing pop.
Pop, okay.
Gotcha. At the time, I was already a trained dancer in pop music.
Yeah.
But the first time I went to LA, I went just to train and take class. And I was already here working a lot and had a lot of connections. I was already good, very well-known dancer here. And then I decided I want to go to LA and see how it feels. And then I go
bad.
And I take a class, and it's like full of dancers, and it could be very intimidating.
Yeah, how was that?
I didn't feel intimidated.
Okay. Was everyone like really good?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And to me, that pushes you.
Yeah, of course. That's good.
But I remember running into a friend, a girl I know that she already moved to LA from Miami, and she's like, I hate that. I hate being the front. I hate going to auditions and being the front and trying to I hate the whole long lines of audition. It's a process. I actually tried to audition for an agency in LA, and I didn't get it, but it was a whole day auditioning.
Yeah.
And going through cuts, and I made it to the end, but didn't get the agency. But yes, it is a lot of people trying to do the same thing.
I mean, when you get to New York or LA, you just see how many people are extremely talented. I mean, it's one of those things where every small town in America has some theater star in their city, right? And every single one of those kids grows up and goes to New York or LA. And so they've been, just like you, doing this their whole life. And they all go to those major cities. And then they all show up at the cattle calls. That's what we call them on Broadway. The equity principal auditions, the EPAs. That's the formal term. But and there's 400 people out there every morning waiting to sing or dance for Broadway.
No, I've done auditions in New York. I know how it feels.
Yeah.
I auditioned for West Side Story, the movie.
Oh, I could totally see you in that.
Loved it.
I did West Side Story in regional theater in Maryland when I was 28. I played Diesel, obviously the Jets.
The white guys.
I wasn't a shark.
Not the
Latinos. No, but that's a great show. That I would say that was, and I could see you doing that totally as well.
But I auditioned for the movie, Steven Spielberg,
and I saw it.
And that was thanks to an agent in Miami.
Yeah.
Who got me the audition.
No, I saw that movie. It was great.
And then,
I'm like an expert on West Side Story movies. I've seen like all 4 different renditions. I mean,
but I learned a lesson there because I get there, right? Before I go to New York, they send me like this music sheet with a song. And I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to prepare for that in like 2-3 days? Like
they wanted you to sing?
Yeah, they wanted you to sing.
Do you sing? Ish. Yeah, you're that's like me.
Ish.
Yeah.
I don't want to say I sing, but I think anyone can sing if you get ready. So I get there to the audition. We do the dancing audition first, and I pass that. And then all the people that passed the audition were moved to a different room. And then I see all these dancers opening a music book, and I had nothing. And I was like, oh my God. I felt so unprepared. Yeah. And I remember I met this girl. She's like, just be you and don't worry. And then just like talk while you're singing. I'm like, and I screwed up. And I didn't get it. And I was like, this is not going to happen to me again. Like the next time I get an audition that I have to sing, I'm going to actually get ready.
Yeah. No,
and then I got a second opportunity to actually audition for a musical here in Miami. And then I got ready. And then I got the job.
Cool.
But yeah, New York is amazing. And there's so many people. I would do the same thing. I would take courses in New York, and I would just go for like a whole week and train for a whole week with like big choreographers and in a room full of dancers from all over the country that would do the same thing as me. So like I said, I was never intimidated by, oh, it's New York or it's LA, or like I would go there and expose myself to that, and that would push me, and I would come back to Miami recharged. Yeah. And that opened my eyes also to like what was going on here.
Well, it's good to, I think it's really good to just test yourself in those larger markets, you know. From an actor standpoint, I feel like people are you're either a New York person or you're an LA person. You're not both. And I was a New York guy. I couldn't stand LA. I went there for 5 months. I was like, this sucks. Get me out of here.
Really?
Hated it. Granted, I was there during COVID as well. That didn't help. So everyone was like locked down and had their masks on and screaming at each other. And, you know, it was a mess. But, you know, I loved New York. New York always felt like home to me.
I love New York.
It's an amazing place. And I think in my opinion, it's a city that is designed for artists. It's like nobody understands that unless you're an artist. And granted, don't get me wrong. I mean, there's other professions in New York, but New York is a great place for artists, mainly because there's constant inspiration that is being given.
It's true.
So, I mean, you'll see, there's just so much going on and there's so much activity that I mean, just as an actor, I would see such weird things all the time. I'm like, and I'd see like the behavior I would see on the subway was just phenomenal. And I'd see something super crazy on the subway. I'd be like, I have to use that in my next audition. Like you'll
see zombies everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, you just would see the most creative stuff, and I'd be like, this place is like a gift.
I know.
And I think that like if you're a choreographer, you'll see weird, interesting stuff all the time.
But you know what? But I think LA too. I remember my first time in LA. I flew in, and then this friend picked me up at the airport, and we went straight to Venice Beach to do a photo shoot.
Yeah.
Like he had his camera, he's like, let's just go do a photo shoot at the beach. And, you know, like here in Miami, to find people that want to be creative just because.
Yeah,
it's really not that common.
It's different. Yeah.
In LA and New York, people are like, let's just go and do a photo shoot. Let's just choreograph something because we want to, and let's just rent a room and do stuff. In New York, it's the same thing. Like people want to be creative. Yeah. They want to do it. They don't want to wait until they have something or they have or there is money involved. Here in Miami, I feel like, I don't want to say, but I think people are lazy.
It's just a different set of values, I would say. People want to look good. They want to just I mean, it's just a different set of values. I think there's not like creativity and artistry is not really high on the list here yet. I think it is changing.
I think so too.
I think we're about to, I really do think we're about to get a big influx of more New Yorkers.
But it happened after COVID, right?
Yeah. I think another big push is coming in the next year.
I think so too.
So, I mean, look, they jokingly call Miami the sixth borough because it there's a lot of New Yorkers here. I do think an artistry scene is slowly coming here. I've met a lot of artists here, and I think it's growing. But most of the artists that I know here are kind of siloed off, and they don't interact with a lot of other artists, and that's sad to me because artists need to be around each other. And so but I feel like in New York. You like if you're an artist in New York, that's all you hang out with.
There's like a sense of community.
Yeah, you go out to the bar and you sing karaoke all night long, and
and the dancers, for example, this is the industry I know most. For example, another place where I go a lot, and I also have an agent, is Atlanta.
Yeah. I used to have an agent in Atlanta. Yeah,
and where I have experience in all of these places, Atlanta, New York, and LA, is that dancers have a sense of community. Like they get together, they do stuff together.
Totally.
But over here, I never seen that community.
Yeah.
As together.
That's why I said it's just everyone's kind of just off on their own island here, and I think that needs to change.
It might have something to do with the fact that there's so many Latinos here, and everyone is an immigrant, and everyone is trying, like they just came from their country.
Yeah, they're
and
figuring
everyone
it
is
out.
like trying to find their way, and we come from countries that, like I said, is totally different from the U.S.
Totally, yeah.
You don't have that thrive.
Yeah.
But if you move here and you straight go to New York or LA or one of those, and then you're around the people that are like constantly doing and inspiring and whatever, you'll become one of them.
No, absolutely.
And that influenced me a lot. I'm thankful that I made those decisions of like, I want to go see, I want to go train. And I always came back because I was fortunate to have work here as well. And, but I would love to get a job in New York and like be there for a while.
Oh yeah.
And experience that
totally
life, that hustle.
No,
that thing.
it's a great, I mean, I think if you're like a working actor or dancer there, it's a great, I mean, you really should audition for the Rockettes.
I thought about it. I actually,
it's a tough gig, but it's a very tough gig to get.
I was very close to do it recently, but I wasn't sure.
No, it's a tough gig to get. It's very competitive, extremely well paying. And
that's an incentive now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a 6-figure salary for 5 months of work. Yeah, I mean, I'm curious. I know just people watching this will want to know, like, who notably have you worked with as a dancer?
Wow, a lot of people. A lot of them. As a dancer, I've worked with many musicians that are great artists and different genres. Done music videos with the Jonas Brothers, Cardi B, Mark Anthony, Pitbull,
Mr. 305.
Yes, and the music video I did with Pitbull, he did it with John Travolta. Was there too.
Oh, he's a great dancer.
Yeah.
Did you get to dance with him?
No,
Too bad. He's an excellent. He still is an excellent dancer. I saw him dance in a video recently. I was like, guy, it's him.
I know.
Yeah.
So many. Prince Royce, Laura Pausini once on TV as well.
Yeah.
Great choreographers actually as well. One of the choreographers I had the pleasure to work with, he was an ex-Michael Jackson dancer. Yeah. And that was amazing.
Yeah.
So many artists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's so cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
I guess what's your dream job at this point?
Wow. That's a tough question.
I know.
At this point, I would love to dance with Janet Jackson.
Okay, interesting.
As a backup dancer, I like to dance for an artist. I would love to dance for her if she ever has female dancers.
Yeah.
I would love that opportunity. I would love to do more movies, like a big movie and dance in a movie.
Dance epics, yeah.
Yeah,
like
in Hollywood.
Like West Side Story. Yeah.
Something
I mean,
epic.
that
like
movie,
La La Land or like something like that.
Yeah, La La Land, yeah.
That's like a dream job for me.
There's been a lot more of that in the last 10 years. There's a lot of dance epics have come back. It's kind of come back in style.
Yeah, or dance for the Oscars, like at the award show.
Yeah.
That would be nice to do.
Yeah.
And I'm in a moment in my career right now where I'm leaning towards more choreographing.
Okay.
And I love dancing, don't get me wrong. I'm still an active dancer, but I love the creative side of choreographing a show.
That's a good thing to get. I mean, look, obviously dancers can't dance until they're 70 years old, right? So
yeah, you can actually. You can dance with your hands.
So I think choreography is a natural transition. Yeah.
I love choreography.
It's like, I think actors kind of go through the same thing, but they get tired of acting, so they just start directing,
I love directing.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
I love choreographing. I actually started choreographing when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like back in Cuba.
Right.
I would choreograph for like stuff.
Yeah.
And I have given opportunities here to choreograph for TV, for events, for all kinds of things. And at this point in my career, I would love to assist a big time choreographer and learn from someone who has like massive experience choreographing like huge show or like a movie or something like that. And that's the journey I would love to have and like be the choreographer, like a big show.
Yeah.
It could be international too. I love theater, so
yeah, me too. That's probably the biggest thing I missed about New York is I used to have season tickets to Broadway, and just every time I saw a show, anything.
I recently saw Hell's Kitchen.
Oh, cool!
That was amazing.
Yeah.
An
Very
amazing show. The music is incredible.
Yeah. I mean, that to me was always just such a huge highlight. And like my acting group and studio, a lot of times we would do a full script analysis on a play before going to see the show. So we would like really understand the story like in great detail and then go see the show. And it'd be just a super interesting experience doing that. Evelyn, this has been really interesting. We got a lot of interesting stuff out about your childhood in Cuba. Definitely. I mean, like as someone who grew up in the States, I've never like known much about like what it's really like in Cuba growing up there.
I bet there's not a lot of information. Really,
that's the thing. It's you don't hear about this that often.
No, because I don't know why. It's really sad. It's a sad.
Like all we hear about is like somebody's like on a raft like swimming over, or like it must be bad over there.
Either you hear that, or a lot of people from other countries will be like, "Oh, Cuba, beautiful island and great food and great people," but no one talks about what's going on there. And
right, and it
doesn't get into the headlines.
Yeah, and it just opened up for tourism in the last 10 years.
There's a lot of conflicts in the world, and you will see those on the headlines, but no one talks about the conflict in Cuba, and it's really tough. It's like people are dying.
Yeah.
People are literally dying, being held hostages.
Yeah, and it seems like
there's
extreme poverty as well. It seems like
yes.
So like just finding food is probably not
finding
easy.
Food, finding medicine.
Yeah,
this is really sad. But doctors killing themselves.
Yeah,
like committing suicide.
Yeah,
like it's a very, very, very hard topic. It's a country that's under a dictatorship.
Yeah.
It's not communism. That doesn't exist, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That's an illusion.
Yeah.
It's a dictatorship that is very corrupt.
Yeah.
And it has a whole country hostage and the people inside.
Yeah.
And doesn't let anyone to live, grow, and do anything. And it's interesting how that is not news.
Yeah.
In
totally,
the world.
Totally.
Like no one is talking like really about this.
Yeah. No, you really don't hear much about any kind of just first person accounts from Cuba.
No.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much for coming in. This was a great discussion.
Thank you.
I wish you well in your dancing endeavors.
Thank you so much.
We will drop all of your links in the description of this video so that people can find you online.
Thank you.
And again, thank you for dropping by.
Thank you for having me.
All right. I'll see you.